Welcome to the Hollywood Outsider, an award-winning weekly entertainment podcast focusing on film and television. These are the only awards that really matter. The 2023 Ho Awards. Let's kick off the show. My name is Aaron Peterson. Joining me today are my fellow hoes, Amanda Sink.
Hello, hello.
Troy Heinrichs.
I'm John 2.0.
Yeah. We should start putting Troy first since he's here more frequently than Amanda. And I feel like
he's the most reliable aside from
in
Aaron.
terms of like episodes recorded, I feel like he's ahead of you now.
Reliable, yes. Intelligent, no.
But reviews written.
I fell off the bandwagon this year. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Amanda did too. Don't let her fool you.
I still did a decent chunk for South by Southwest.
Uh-huh. Yeah. This is how South by Southwest went, Troy. Amanda, did you get that done? Amanda, did you get that done? Amanda, did you get that done? We really got to get that out. Did you get that done? Basically like that.
She wrote for a week, and that was about it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
But I still got a lot done.
John Davenport won't be here because he didn't watch anything last year except How I Met Your Mother, so he's going to try and do better this year. But so also he's moving. He's in the process of moving, so he's getting set up, so he won't be here this week. But if you haven't listened to our whole awards before, we do ours a bit different. We don't do male or female like many other award shows, just actor. We've done that since, I think, the get-go. If you want to follow along, the categories are in the show notes or the website post, so just bring that up and let us know what your picks are on social media, @BuyPopcorn on Twitter, and The Hollywood Outsider. We have a Facebook group, a private group. You have to look for it, as well as a Facebook page. Let us know. Each of us three will award our winners in each category, and at the end, we combine everything with listener picks from our Facebook group that we polled to determine what was the Ho TV series and movie of 2022.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited, too. I want to know.
Only because there's so many TV shows that I've totally forgot that I watched. So I was making a list. I was like, oh, shit, that's not on there?
Did you check it twice?
It's too late for Santa jokes, Amanda.
No, it's never too late for Santa jokes.
It's too late.
Technically, we're still in the 12 days of Christmas by rule up until January 6th.
Troy was asking me before we started. He's like, I don't think I watched enough TV and movies. And I'm like, trust me, you have. It's all starting. There's so much content now. Do you guys find that you're doing this where it just starts blending together? I can't remember names anymore.
100%.
Yeah, I'm like, was that a TV or a movie? That's really where I'm at now because they're about the same length, between the 6-episode, 30 minutes an episode Obi-Wan Kenobi clocking in at less time than Babylon.
I just make the common assumption that it's all TV because TV scripts are much more frequent than movies these days. Even stuff that should be a movie and should be wrapped up a little bit succinct, the opposite of who I am as a person. Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen either in Hollywood, so everything's a TV show. Feels
like it. And occasionally they make a 3-hour opus called Babylon that just it babbles on and on and on and on. Oh my God, why so long?
I haven't heard that joke 100 times.
I've got a bunch of Babylon jokes. You ready? Here they come. Bam! Rapid fire. All right, out of the awards. So we're going to start before we get into TV and movie. We break them into separate sections, but we're going to start with a couple more broad awards. What was your best TV or movie watching experience of 2022? That means whatever you want it to mean. What you went to a theater and it's the experience of seeing whatever you saw with the crowd you saw it with. Sitting at home watching whatever it was with the people whatever that experience was. What was your personal best experience watching entertainment last year?
So my pick for this year is going to be a little selfish. I usually pick an experience that I had with like a group of people or, something like that. This year was a bit different for me, especially because I traveled so much and moved across the country twice. So I didn't really get those opportunities. So the pick that I have is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because as someone who's such a really big fan of Scarlet Witch, just a really big fan of hers, I could not have anticipated how fun and exciting and exhilarating her character would be in that movie. And I was so pumped after watching the show WandaVision to see her get some of this, I guess, light that she hadn't been presented before. So that was definitely that.
The light with which she used to see all the people she was murdering?
Yeah, that light.
Yeah.
The light that killed lots of people.
Gotcha.
Let's see. I have one for each, actually. Just because I didn't know if Amanda was going to be here, so I had to make sure I covered off for, the...
Bazinga.
Okay, the first one I had was for the movies, which was Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was watching this with my 14-year-old on my left, and I was watching it with my wife on my right. And the butt plug scene, as we'll call it, watching my son laugh hysterically at the butt plug scene on one side, and then having my wife sit there in horror. She's like, oh my God, what kind of conversations I'm going to have in the van when I go home today?
Great ones.
Can I hear a little bit about how you went through that parenting experience and explain that just for the listeners?
Son, what's the sound go?
I told them it's basically like, when you play video games, it's like a power up.
Up your ass. Yeah.
And then for TV side, we had a group of people that actually sit right back here, and we watched the This Is Us final season as a group of us, which I thought was really fun.
That's cool.
And you guys did that regularly, right?
Every week for every episode of the entire final season.
That's really cool.
That is very cool.
We'll be doing that again, hopefully on January 15th, when one of the greatest video games of all time becomes a television show, and it's going to be amazing.
The Last of Us. We'll be talking more about that in, I'm sure, upcoming episodes. But
I'm sure we'll talk about it so much that Aaron won't even watch it, just like my number one pick
watch
this
it.
year.
I'm watching it. I am watching it.
Because he never finished the game.
I finished the story of the game.
Okay.
It's all on YouTube. So I didn't finish.
You Googled it? You were like,
no, I watched it.
No,
I watched the whole ending.
He watched the HBO miniseries already, basically.
Yeah, essentially. It's got an awesome ending. I will give it that. I was halfway through the game and I just got tired of the clickers. I couldn't handle them anymore.
Clickers.
My best movie or TV experience was, it wasn't the best movie I saw, but I had my first experience with 4DX, and I saw Jurassic World.
That sounds like an
Dominion.
interesting experience, actually.
It was fantastic. Seeing,
especially for your first time.
I feel like you're making that about butt plugs, but no, I saw Jurassic World Dominion in 4DX with the whole, it sprays wind on you, water on you. The chair is like an amusement park ride. It's like you're on a roller coaster, and it's just nonstop. And everything that happened had an emotion, had a feeling. Like, it just really, really just created an entirely different experience. And that was just insane to do that. I didn't get to see it, Top Gun Maverick in that, which would have been phenomenal, but I still got to see something in 4DX, which I highly recommend. There aren't that many of those theaters around, but if you can get to one, see something fun in that. All right. Most personal discussion creating TV or movie news item of 2022. Meaning you probably talked about this news story more than any other, or that it hit you particularly hard. And I don't mean, just in the podcast. I mean you in general. Troy.
For me, I think this one's pretty straightforward, right? This was the continuation of the destruction of everything at HBO Max by WMD. I mean WBD.
This is mine too. So yeah, I'm on board with you. Why did that one impact you so much though?
Just because I'm still bothered by the Westworld decision. It's like, it's already on the service. It's already done. Why would you remove it? I mean, I know you're going to bring it back on your FAST service. And for those that don't know, FAST is the ad-supported version of over-the-top streaming.
It's like free access
streaming television or something.
Streaming television? Okay.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's just leave it on the main service until you're ready to launch your FAST product, and then move it at that point. To remove it completely so nobody can watch it at all, it just seems weird to me.
I went and bought it again. So I got all 4 seasons because God knows when I'll ever see them again, otherwise. So I wanted to make sure I had them.
Doesn't it kind of piss you off
Evan in
with
4K.
Netflix
Yep,
that they don't
4K.
do it?
Does it piss me off that Netflix doesn't do that?
Yeah, like, or were you? Because there are so many really good shows. Like, even think about Cobra Kai at this point. If they
Yeah.
were to pull it, if they were to pull that same stunt, we'd be without that. And so many really great shows. Stranger Things is just another example where
Well,
we'd be without that stuff.
they've done some physical because I have Stranger Things seasons 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. But I don't have 3 and I don't think 4 is out yet, but I'm going to get those as well because I worry about that. So yeah, I think the idea of that just something you love disappearing irritates the crap out of me. That's why I've always bought physical media. And if anything, I will tell you the reason why this story impacted me the most is because it reminded me, don't get too attached to things because you never know if you're going to get them, especially if David Zaslav's involved because he just likes to They just got rid of, I think, 14 seasons of Looney Tunes cartoons. Like 248. What? Oh, yeah. John's going to have a seizure when he hears about this. But yeah, they just keep taking stuff off. That's why I'm a huge believer and proponent in physical media. Buy as much as you want. Get the digital copy if you want. So you've got that digital version. So it's easier because I know, God knows, people don't want to put a disc in a tray anymore. But I like having physical media and I'm not getting rid of it until it's not supported anymore. You know what I mean? So the things I love, if it's something I can buy, I will buy it. Although I might wait 6 months so I can get it cheap.
Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season.
Me? Amanda, what about you? What was your biggest story?
You guys know that I shouldn't say one of my all-time favorite movies, but a movie that I really, really love because it's one of my favorite books is Perks of Being a Wallflower. And that's where I first saw Ezra Miller. And I had a lot of affection and adoration for him as an actor, as a person. He just seemed like, up until 2022, he seemed like a decent guy. And just that continual news. And also, I think it wasn't even just the fact that he was out there being a real asshole, because he was, but it was the combination of that and the fact that with all of these changes that WBDZQRT had in 2022, they didn't make like a real, I don't know, they should have just had a conversation and been like, hey guys, this seems like bad PR. Let's just swap him out with somebody else and scrap the movie. Because at that point, it's so tainted and so just like gross at some point where you're like, I don't even want to support this guy because he just continually, it's different from some other actors who've done like really horrible things. And I understand that, but he was still just being like a really awful person. And I know he had mental health issues with it, but there's still like no accountability for him to get treatment and do better and be better. It was just like, we'll scrap everything in the world except for this very problematic piece. And that news just like continued to fester and so many things continue to happen. And I felt like we're not really addressing this.
Yeah. Ezra Miller is a conundrum of a riddle. I don't know what the right solution to that is. They have so much money in that I mean, I feel like, I don't know. It's almost salvageable because he hasn't been convicted of any crimes as of right now. There's probably ways that he's seeking help and that's always the out that Hollywood provides. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I really don't. But it's a tragedy all around. And I liked him as the Flash. I've liked him as an actor. I just haven't liked anything about him as a person. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, that's a downside of fame at a very young age. And for some people, just any age. Sad times.
It is very sad.
Well, let's turn it up. So what was your favorite line from either movie or TV in 2022? I could tell you mine. Mine was very simple because it stuck with me the second I heard it. And I've loved it. I want to get it on a t-shirt. It's from Glass Onion when Benoit Blanc says, "It's a dangerous thing to mistake speaking without thought for speaking the truth." And boy, if that's not a commentary on the world today, I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Preach it, Benoit.
Benoit. All right. What say you guys?
Mine is from Wednesday because I just absolutely adored that movie and Jenna Ortega. And
that show? It's not a show.
I'm sorry,
I know it feels like a movie.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a TV show. It's a TV show. It's one of those days. She says, I know I'm stubborn, single-minded, and obsessive, but those are all traits of great writers and serial killers. And I just think that I don't know, I think it's really funny and quirky and relatable, but her delivery is so goddamn on point every time.
Mm-hmm. Always. Troy, what about you?
Mine is from Cobra Kai, probably one of the best sequences in season 5 when LaRusso basically kicks the ass of the entire hockey team. And he had just gotten done explaining to Johnny some of Miyagi's wisdom. And then the fight ends and then LaRusso turns around and he's like, where the hell were you? And Johnny goes, oh, I took advice from Mr. Miyagi and no be here.
Oh, that's right.
No be here.
I forgot. No be here. I forgot. That was a great one. Johnny Lawrence
so
wisdom.
It was so good.
All right, kids, we are going to move into TV. So now it's time for our television awards. Now, the only rules that we have is that it includes cable, streaming, regular, limited series, whatever. They all count here. The only rule is it had to have at least 3 new episodes in 2022, which I know makes Troy very happy on one particular show, but had to have at least 3 new episodes in 2022. So we're going to start with the best special effects and or stunts for a TV series. We kind of combine them because TV doesn't have as much as movies do usually, but
we at least have this award compared to some other organizations.
Unlike some other organizations. So what is the best special effects and or stunts for a TV series in 2022, Troy?
For me, I chose Stranger Things. I think episode 4 alone was like watching Avatar, The Way of the Water. It was so well done for a television spectacle, just with the pieces falling and floating in the air and running for that hill and going through the portal and everything about the upside down and that experience with Sadie. Just, oh my gosh. So good.
My heart. Yeah. The special effects
Sadie
are phenomenal
is the actress,
show.
not the character.
Max is the character.
Max is the character.
Wow. What an impactful show. And also just fantastic. The effects have gotten better and better with every season. Like really.
Oh, for sure.
They've created a whole world that I feel is almost believable.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like, and this is my pick too, is Stranger Things, because I feel like amongst all of the other shows that we saw this year, there were none that transported me into that make-believe world so much as Stranger Things did. It felt so like palatable and just like legitimate and real in so many ways, despite it being a big like horror fantasy concept. And, you know, it made you wonder like, well, hell, maybe I just need to be in the right time and place and I'll be able to, you know, get into a different world by jumping through the ceiling or through the floor. So I was really impressed with it. I mean, every season has been really great, but they just keep upping the ante every season a little bit more and a little bit more. And I have a lot of respect and I'm very impressed by all of that. So
should get best soundtrack for this season too, man.
Hell yeah.
My God. I didn't even know, what's her name? Kate,
you didn't know Kate Bush existed.
I didn't know Kate Bush existed. I didn't. I was alive in the 80s. I didn't know she existed. Everybody's like, she was big in the 80s. I'm like, where? I don't remember that. Was she in Breakfast Club? Yeah. Well, you know, I also, you know, where I grew up was more like rap. So what are you going to do? So my pick stems from, you know, you talked about going through a journey, Amanda, and just kind of going to a place you never expected to go. And that's what made me think of the penis shot in The Boys, because I've always wondered, what does a urethra look like from the inside? And by God, they let me have it. I got to take a whole tour of the inside of a penis and then watch it explode. And that is some impressive special effects, because I haven't been more what the hell of anything this year than that opening to The Boys. That's my
true statement. I remember sitting up here, right there, actually. And I had a friend over and she's like, you have to watch this first 11 minutes. You have to watch this first 11 minutes. And so we're watching it. And I'm just like, oh my God, is that about to happen? Is what I think about to happen? And at first I thought it was going to be...
Don't sniffle as you tell this story, because it's going to make me want to sneeze, and I'm afraid.
All I was thinking was, he's going to get aroused, and he is going to ejaculate and shoot that guy across the room. Is where I thought it was going to go. And then when what actually happens, it was like, oh my gosh, that's even better. Best special effects. Obliterated. I was moved and terrified by that whole shot. Fantastic. Okay, best villain or badass. We kind of have a, it's whichever way you want to read it. Best villain or badass. Amanda?
Mine comes from a show that I know you fellas love, and I love that you love it. It's from a good old show called Cobra Kai, and a man named Terry Silver.
Oh, good pick.
Yeah, he is. I love so much that the villains just kind of continue to go up and up. Like, it's a boss level increase from a video game every season. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't know how I'd feel about this Terry Silver storyline, but God damn, he's so good. He's so good. And he makes you feel like Johnny is just such, I don't know, so boring and basic in comparison to him, which so is basic. Funny because he's really cool, and he's a very cool badass. And in normal circumstances, like maybe season 1, he probably would have gotten this slot for me. But Terry Silver just really stole his thunder.
Yeah, I was it's funny, and this is going to be my way of throwing an honorable mention, since it's the same one you picked, but mine was Wendy was dominating this category for me until Cobra Kai came out. Wendy and Ozark. And then
that hoe.
Yeah. Well, you love to hate her, right? You love to hate her. She played that great. But the one thing Cobra Kai has always been missing for me is a formidable adversary, because every time there was a fight with Kreese, I'm sorry, it was laughable. It was like, Martin Cove can't move that great. That's a stunt man. They basically have to cut to a younger guy to even have a real fight, playing him as a younger man. So he was never really, it was more, he was so campy and over the top. Terry Silver is campy, is over the top. I've always liked Thomas Ian Griffith. Extreme Measures is a fun movie. I was really hoping he would have been like the next Steven Seagal back when he came out, but it didn't work out. Whatever. But he's actually a black belt. So when he gets in a fight, he can actually kick the shit out of everybody on that show. Like, he legitimately could if he really wanted to. Not to mention the fact he's about, a foot taller than Ralph Macchio and quite a bit taller than Billy Zabka. So, he actually is imposing. And plus, he was just so fun to watch manipulate everybody else in the show. And he made a villain I love, where as opposed to a villain I just hate and I just he was a villain I love. Like, I don't want him to ever leave this show. Now I want him to find a way to work him back into every season until the show's done. Loved him.
Mine is going to be none other than number 1 himself, Mr. Vecna.
Really?
I thought the storyline for that and the way that he was able to manipulate and get into people's heads, and just the way he moves across the screen, just everything about him just was like, this is the guy that we've been waiting for. Like, Mind Flayer. Didn't work out as well as I thought it was going to do in my head, but I think that just Vecna was so interesting for this entire show. And I'm glad that he's not completely gone for the 5th season, because I'd love to see what happens next.
Well, it's got to be. He's the big bad until the biggest bad, right? That's got to be what Vecna is.
Yeah, Vecna is basically going to go and blow up the world until 8 shows up and takes over. No, I'm just kidding.
Could be. It could be 8, it could be bringing it back. But 11 could ultimately be a villain too. We just don't know how that's going to pan out yet. All right, best supporting actor of all of television. This means you get one choice. Best supporting actor, Troy.
I'm going to make sure I got this one right this year, because I didn't understand supporting actor and best actor last year.
No, you sure didn't.
I put Julia Garner, obviously, for Ozark.
Hell yes.
That would be
There's
correct.
no way that this could go to anybody else. I mean, she was like,
Not Jason Sudeikis?
fuck no.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Julia Garner.
No, I'm just the one scene alone. I mean, the one that everybody talks about from this final thing that you're gonna have to kill her. Like, you have to kill
wait,
her.
hold on, because I'm going to talk about that moment.
It's so good. It's so good. Like, if she wasn't on the map already, this definitely would have put her on the map. And
Oh, absolutely.
just completely amazing work.
That's my
That sounds-
pick also.
Okay.
Well,
But
what
you're
do you want to
talking
talk
about
about it? You said you want to talk about it.
No, not right now, because we have a thing where we're going to talk about our favorite moment. Spoiler alert.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, so she's my pick as well. So it's a clean sweep. Julia Garner for Ozark. Holy shit.
She
That
better
never
win
happens.
every goddamn award that exists. They better make an award for her.
You're going to have to fucking kill me. She was
So good.
Oh my God. Okay, so best actor across all facets of television. There are over 500 scripted shows now?
Something like that.
It's a lot of actors to go through. And I had a really hard time with this because I really had like a 4 runner up. So, and I broke it down to one winner. Whew, it was very tough. My pick for best actor of television is Bill Hader as Barry. He is. Yeah, hey, bear with me here. He's emotional. He's funny. He's empathetic. He's dramatic. He's literally insane. He's erratic. He's psychopathic. He's obsessive. I mean, he's bonkers. Hader has to bounce like all over the place as Barry, and he's absolutely amazing in it. Why more people are not talking about his performance is beyond me. I understand season 3 wasn't probably the best season of the show, but it was still great. It's still a great season of television. And it all works and only works because of Bill Hader. One step out of his character, if he gets one little step wrong, the show falls like a deck of cards. And I honestly believe he is so much better of an actor than I think we have even yet to discover, because he's just astonished me with how many different ways he's playing the same character.
It's a really good call. I haven't seen the newest season, but I've watched the previous 2, and he's so wonderful, and I love that show.
He's a great director and a writer too. He's got one really just continuous shot in this season where he directed that. It's like a chase scene, but it's phenomenal. Like, it's one of the best things I've ever seen in television all year. Amazing. Sorry, Amanda, it's your turn.
My pick is going to go to Jenna Ortega for Wednesday.
She was in my top 4 for sure.
She, I've been a really big fan of hers for a little while now, and seeing her transition between her role in X this year and her role in Wednesday is really kind of what solidified this for me, where I was just like, beyond the fact that it's already incredibly difficult to be compared to Christina Ricci's Wednesday Addams, that's like the iconic performance that you think of when it comes to Wednesday. And here this woman is, this young woman coming in, and she literally even steals the show away from Christina when she's on screen. She created this dance, which we all know the dance at this point, right? Now it's an internet sensation.
It is. There's Russian ice skaters that have routines based around this, which is phenomenal. That's wild.
They have Russian ice skating based around.
I put the link. Yeah, the link's on our Facebook. I'll send you the link after the show, but it's on our Facebook page and on Twitter for sure. There's a Russian ice skater who did a whole routine around Wednesday Addams, this whole dance.
That's crazy.
It was really
crazy.
cool. Yeah. But I mean, you have like teachers who are doing it in the middle of their classroom and getting recorded and going on TikTok. It's just become, it's so viral because she just has that personality that made people want to adopt it. And her energy in this character, her ability to, I guess, fill the shoes beyond even the expectations that I had set. You know what I mean? Like, I really just did not think that anybody could excel so well as being Wednesday Addams. And she is just, when I think of her now, and I realize this is a little soon, but I'm going to say it anyway, when I think of Wednesday Addams now, she's the one who comes to mind for me. Her delivery on everything, her demeanor, her just quick wit, the writing on the show really, I mean, there's a great attribute to that too, but she really made it her own. And she just, oh my God, I couldn't believe it.
Good pick. Troy,
That's
what
good.
are you going with?
She's definitely a powerhouse, but for all the reasons that Jen is great, all the reasons that Bill is great, you bundle all of that up and you put it into one singular episode of television, which is season 2, episode 5, Stand Still Like the Hummingbird from Euphoria and Zendaya.
Yes,
Nancy Reagan tried so hard in the 80s to say no to drugs. I will tell you that this one episode will make you never use drugs ever in your life again. It was so hard to sit through that episode and know that she's acting the whole time. Like, it's not like she's actually on drugs, but man, the withdrawal, the desperation, the hate, the language, the fighting, the crime, it was exhausting for her, I'm sure, to do the performance. It was exhausting to watch because it was just such a, like, when is it going to end? When is it
emotionally
going to stop?
draining?
Like, I couldn't continue the binge. I had to stop and get away for like an entire day. It was just so good. And that whole season, the whole series, she's obviously fantastic. But that one episode, I mean, no offense to Julia, but it's like Julia's was powerful. Like Zendaya was like a whole other, like 10 Julias on top. Like,
wow.
It's that good, that one episode.
It was
I haven't
a
seen it, so I can't
fantastic
speak to
episode.
it. So Amanda's backing you up on this. I can't verify.
I don't think you could emotionally support what's going on there, Aaron.
Nope.
That's not your vibe.
I've talked about it before, but people that don't know, I grew up with the projects. I grew up very, very poor. A lot of drug addicts around me and surrounding me, and it's just not something I want to go through again. So just a personal thing. But I've heard nothing but fantastic raves about it. So that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Best specific moment on television. This means a specific moment occurred in a TV show or an event, whichever you want to do. I mean, it can be a slap. It can be whatever you want. It's your best specific moment on TV.
Well, I think that was the best specific moment on television, just because it's broadcast around the world, global, everything you can think of, right? I mean, that is like in a category of its own. So we'll just kind of put that up there as like the governor's award or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It gets the whole award for best slap. Because, wow, Chris Rock getting hauled up and sucker punched by Will Smith was quite a treat. And got people stopped talking about politics for a while. They were too busy fighting over that. So we're fighting over something different, bringing us together to fight about new things.
Yeah, I mean, whoever thought alopecia was going to be the thing that separated red and blue states?
I don't even want to laugh at that, but it's kind of funny. All right, so what's your best specific moment on TV?
Besides that one, the season finale, the final shot of The Handmaid's Tale, which I know is still kind of fresh. So I don't know if I want to say it out loud.
Just say skip ahead a minute. Skip ahead a minute.
5,
skip ahead a minute.
4, 3, 2, 1. When June is on the train with the baby, and she makes her way to the back of the train, and she says, "Hey, there's another baby. Do you want to go see who it is?" And it happens to be Serena and her baby. And it was like, oh my God, they're on the same train together. It's like face to face, and it just ends there. And you're like, holy crap. What is the next season going to bring? That was epic.
Okay, Amanda, you can come back now.
I'm back. I've returned.
She had to leave. She didn't want to get spoiled by.
I did not want to. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah.
All right, so here's what happened, Amanda. So
I will fucking punch you both in the throat. So quick. I have not invested in this depressing TV show to have it ruined by some internet fools.
All right. My best specific moment on television is Max running up that hill to escape Vecna. I was moved. It really hit me in every possible emotion. I'm a real advocate for mental health, and this season in particular, and especially Max's situation, really revolved around her guilt over her brother's death and her not feeling like she fit in, and kind of wanting to escape that world, or she thought she did. And then learning that she does want to fight for her life. She does want to survive, and she does all of that in that scene. And not only that, but intercut with her friends just desperately trying to save her because they all love her and they know she means something, and she doesn't realize how much she means to them, and they're fighting to save her. And I mean, it's a phenomenal. So it gets me teary eyed just thinking about it. Like I've rewatched it I don't know how many times, and it never ever fails to make me well up when I watch that scene. Especially like, oh my God, when they're all hugging her and she finally gets out and they fade to black when she's just like, oh, it's so moving.
And you got up and went downstairs and went to go get a tissue, and you're like, you're running up that hill.
And then that song played
Sticks
over
her
and over
forever.
all summer. I'm hearing it left and right. I'm playing it left and right. And I'm like, wow, this Kate Bush is pretty good. I should probably check out who this lady is.
Oh, poor Kate.
And you're all welcome now because you're all going to be singing it because I said, you're running up that hill.
Exactly. I got to go listen to it after it's over. Amanda, best specific moment.
Yeah, my pick I kind of alluded to already, but it comes from Ozark, and it is from episode 7, where Julia Garner she runs into the house where Jason Bateman and his family are, and she had just found out, spoiler alert, that this whole episode is actually matter of fact, but she finds out that Wyatt has been murdered, and she wants to know who did it. And so she runs in there, literally guns blazing, and she's like, you're gonna fucking tell me who did this, blah, blah, blah. She starts going off on him, and she finally gets the answer she's looking for. And they're all trying to stop her because they know that this could be very bad for her and could actually get her hurt. And so they're really just protective of her. But
and themselves too.
And themselves.
Too.
More than anything themselves. But I think on a deeper level, I think aside from Wendy, everyone cares about her. And
oh, absolutely. I think
her.
Marty would have done anything to save her. He tried to do everything he could to save her.
And when she looks at him and she says, if you want to stop me, you're going to have to fucking kill me. And she just, I mean, like the anger on her face and in her body, and like the reaction I had to her screaming, and just how, like, in some level, you're kind of rooting with her. Like, go get him, girl. Do it. Get him back. Get that revenge. And at the same time, you're also like, oh shit, I know what this could mean for her. And she knows what it means, but she doesn't care. But it was just so powerful to see her, I guess, just be ruthless. And
jeez, I'm ashamed at how long that took me to get.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, why did she laugh? Oh.
But yeah, it was incredible, an incredible performance from her.
You should be ashamed of that joke.
I'm proud of it,
but equally proud.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is our Coherence Award, which has been renamed. What this is it was an award that's basically your personal pick for a little scene or discussed TV series and movie. We have one in movies as well. That just completely won you over, and you hope more people will find it in the new year. And the reason we've renamed it is because the reason we had it named Coherence is because our former host, Justin McCumber, found this little film called Coherence and kind of exposed it to our audience at the time, as well as the director. He got an interview with the director, and it just really kind of helped that little film explode a little bit. And so we've renamed this award the Justin McCumber Award in his honor. Felt it was time to actually give him just a proper title and a proper award. So the Justin McCumber Award. Amanda, what is your TV version of this award?
My TV pick for the Justin McCumber Award is The Legend of Vox Machina. It is the animated show that comes from the Critical Role group, who has had really successful D&D campaigns. And it's just, on one level, it's just really cool to see a group of friends in more particular, who come together, who have just been trying to have fun together, and then get to see a TV show made based on their own interactions and commentary in a D&D game. It's just really cool. But beyond that, it worked so well. It was so fun, and it didn't feel like a TV show that was just meant for people who had watched their live Critical Role game. It was simply just a show that you could buy into and have fun with, and the dialogue and humor in it was just so incredible. The writing was fantastic, but the visuals were really great too. And I wish more people would check it out, especially those who are into more fantasy type stories,
Sure.
because it's so fun and it's really hilarious. Definitely not kid appropriate though. Not kid appropriate.
It depends on your kid, right?
I'm pretty sure this is no child. Not even one of yours, Aaron.
All right.
But you said it was a cartoon.
Oh yeah, it's animated, all right.
Kids?
Yeah, cartoons are for kids.
Not when they got dicks swinging around.
Oh, I would let my kids watch The Boys. All right, so my pick for the Justin McCumber Award is Shining Girls. This is Elizabeth Moss and her other show. It's on Apple TV Plus. It's a limited series, but she's a survivor of a sadistic serial killer. And when a journalist begins linking the victims, she kind of joins the hunt because she's trying to reclaim everything she lost of herself along the way. Because of that attack, she has become terrified. She is losing her place in life. She doesn't know what is going on. She is constantly terrified. And it may seem pretty cut and dry, but it's not. Because you know what else this show has, aside from a very chilling performance from Jamie Bell? It's science fiction. I do not understand how Troy Heinrichs has not watched the show yet, because it has an actress he loves, and I'm telling you, you would frickin' love this concept once you saw it. There might be some time travel involved. I don't know, but it's wild. It's a wild series. You have to truly pay attention because there are really fine details that get tweaked as the show goes that kind of starts to explain, oh, this is a different kind of show than I thought it was. And it's just outside my top 10 of the year, but it is a wonderful show.
I'm going to use
Shining
Aaron's
Girls.
explanation. I have not seen it yet because there's too much new stuff coming out and it's already in the past. So can't watch it.
You would like it. It's got, it's
No, it's
Elizabeth Moss.
it's on the growing list of stuff. I just have not had time.
I'm telling you. But there is a show you will have to watch. That's Justified, just so you know. So
the whole first season. Yes.
The whole first season. We'll talk more about that when we get past all of the other TV stuff. But what's your winner of the Justin McCumber Award?
Well, this is one that's even probably cooler than Shining Girls because it's on a service that nobody would ever find. Therefore, it really fits the coherence like mantra. But it was on Epix, EPIX. You can get a free trial for 7 days through your Amazon Prime subscription. Highly recommend doing it and binging the crap out of this show. It's called From, F-R-O-M. And From is about a bunch of people who drive down a road to get away from whatever they're trying to get away from, vacation or work or damaged life, what have you. And they run into a tree in the road. And so they have to turn around. But when they turn around, they find a town. And every time they come to the town, they try to leave the town and they come back around again and come around again and around again. And they can never leave the town. And they're stuck there forever. Except that at night, there are some scary shit that happens. So you have to be inside your house before night falls. So new people that show up at the townspeople are trying to explain to them why they need to get the F inside the house. And they're like, we just want to get the F out of the town. And so then people like try to leave the town at night and then the things go bump and ugly. And it's just really, really fascinating because as the story grows and more people show up at the town, the more the mystery develops. And yes, I would say that it has those certain vibes of other J.J. Abrams mystery box properties.
It does sound very cool. Like, it really does. So I do want to check that out. It's just hard to get, and I don't like to do trials because I usually forget to unsubscribe, and then I'm paying $150 before I finally get around to doing it.
This one was really good. Season 2 has been confirmed, so it's not like it's a one and done. Because the end of the season, you're just like, how are they going to get out of this one? Those Duke boys.
How them Duke boys going to get out of this? Well, we're going to stay with you, Troy, and move into most disappointing TV series. Now, this can be whatever your reasons are. What is your most disappointing TV series?
Anything made by Marvel. Just whatever came out this. I don't even remember what came out this year.
Dang, savage.
But it was just to that point of like, there's just
Attaboy.
too much of it that I just did not care. Tatiana Maslany, my favorite actress behind Jodie Comer. But like just loved Orphan Black. I would watch anything Tatiana's in. I gave She-Hulk one episode. I never went back to it because I'm just so marveled out at this point. It's just not, it doesn't grab me anymore as like, ooh, I got to watch it. Like WandaVision, I was all in. Like WandaVision was so good. And then after that, I didn't watch a single Marvel property since then.
I think Hawkeye is the last one I completed fully. Well, I watched Loki. I didn't like Loki though. Unlike a lot of other people.
You're
but
wrong,
I'm with you.
but that's okay.
Well, very much marveled out as well. I think it is a big portion because Moon Knight I loved. I loved Moon Knight. I just thought Oscar Isaac was phenomenal in that. And I didn't even finish that because I just stopped caring about Marvel. I'm like, okay, I get it. But you're doing too much at once. I liked the break. When we had 3 movies a year, I loved that. Because then I could get excited for it. Well, now I have nothing to get excited because there's always something on. And I'm just like, well, it's not special anymore. Now it's NCIS.
And the whole phase because of it has been felt disconnected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. And I do not like the idea of if I don't watch the show, I might miss something in the movie. It still pisses me off, and that hasn't changed. Although I will say She-Hulk does get better. I don't love it like John does, but it does. It is funny. There's a lot of semi-good episodes. The effects, though, that's a problem through the whole series.
But it's just disappointing because it's Disney and it shouldn't be that way.
I agree. Amanda, most disappointing TV series.
So the TV show that I went with for most disappointing was The Girl from Plainville. This is the show that was based on the real life tragedy of a young girl who essentially convinces, encourages, and tries to get this guy to kill himself. And he did. And the story I was really excited for, especially because of the team that was the creative team attached to it. And I thought this would be, could be very fascinating depending on the way that they approach it. But, and we talked earlier this year about some of the problems with it because Aaron saw it too and screened it at South by Southwest. And unfortunately, the perspective that they approached it from came across very much sympathetic towards this individual, this young woman. And I'll be quite honest, it just kind of pissed me off. Suicide and mental health are two things that are very close to, I think, all of us here on the show, and take it very personally. And so to see it represented in such a poor way and to just kind of be mishandled, especially with a real life tragedy, just really bothered me. So it was very disappointing to me. I did try to, I got through the series, but it never rose to the potential it had, because of the angle that they took.
Well,
it must have been disappointing because I was disappointed that I haven't even heard of it before.
You didn't listen to our South by Southwest episode then, Troy.
Yeah. Why don't you listen to us?
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'll tell you. Rather than watch that long ass series that wasn't that good, find the documentary. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a documentary based on the same case. That is phenomenal. That documentary is great. I recommend that because that is a case. I mean, this woman was basically tried and convicted of manslaughter, I believe, because I don't know if it's the right answer or not, but she basically took someone who was on the edge of suicide and pushed them toward it. Is what she did, and intentionally did that.
She also knew that it was happening when it was happening and did less than zero to try to help.
Yeah.
And that's up. Really, and the cover up that happened after that is where it becomes really just aggravating. And it's no longer something that you could say is accidental or that she had no part in. She clearly had a part in it. She clearly tried. So to your point, Aaron, that documentary is really great.
Yeah. It's a case worth checking out because, damn, just damn. So my pick for most disappointing TV series, for whatever my reason, and this is because I feel like Troy, he needs a kick in his financial bucket here, and he gets paid every time it's mentioned. So The Blacklist is my most disappointing TV series. You had a clean slate. They basically, whether you liked it or not, they answered the damn questions you wanted answers to. Of course, you don't like it, and that's fine. That's your business. But they answered them. And so they had a clean slate. Could do anything they wanted. They could have nothing but red chasing blacklisters left and right. It could have been the coolest show ever. Honestly, that's what we talked about when we did the Blacklist Exposed, cheap plug, for years, is like, get to a point where you can just go after blacklisters because that's what we liked about it. And your network drama, it's what you should do on network because it's not really a place for serialized storytelling over 22 episodes. And they instead decided to follow a ridiculous conspiracy that made zero sense, bogged down an entire season of television in some of the worst writing I've seen in a long time. I'm sorry, I will never watch a single episode of season 9 again. It was awful, and it didn't need to be. And I'm sure some of you listening, because I know we have fans from Blacklist Exposed that listens to this, and they're going to be like, I hate Aaron. I wish he wouldn't shit on the Blacklist all the time. We'll make a better show then. That's what I'm saying, because season 9 sucked. There you go. That's what I got to say.
True statement.
And there's tons of potential with the new storyline they have going on. So fingers crossed, but they got to get away from the whole Liz and Red dynamic. That dynamic is done. Let's move forward. Now we have arrived at the top 10. Top 10. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mention our 10. Really just going to elaborate on the top 5, though, because otherwise we'll be here for 6 hours. I mean, you can throw a sentence or two or whatever, but let's just try to keep it so that we get out of here before the end of the year. So, Amanda, your top 10 from 10 to 1, what are they?
All right, coming in at number 10 is The Bear. Coming in at number 9 is Dead to Me, which was had a really great finale. If you were a fan of it. So yeah, Christina Applegate, my goodness. Number 8, The Shining Girls.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Number 7, A League of Their Own. Shout out to the Rockford Peaches.
Really? You liked it that much? I haven't heard anybody talk about that.
Oh my God, I loved it. It was so good. And it was, I mean, sure, the story is really fun in terms of the baseball, but they really made a great trajectory for the characters because of the internal relationships that they had. And there's like a lesbian story. And so kind of how normalized they made that, but also, Rockford is my hometown. So it was really cool to see that on screen too. But yeah, I really, really love the show. I thought it was really great. Number 6, I have Cobra Kai. Number 5, House of the Dragon. Mm-hmm. Number 4, Stranger Things. Number 3, Ozark. Number 2, Legend of Vox Machina. And number 1, Wednesday.
Number 1, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
I thought it was exceptional. I thought it would be good.
She's exceptional.
She is exceptional. I thought it would be good, but I did not think that I would adore it so much where I would go back for a rewatch that quickly. So,
was Ozark in there?
Oh yeah, Ozark was number 3.
3. Okay, yeah. All right. I was sending Troy a message real quick, and I apologize. So I missed one. I know I heard Legend of how do you say that?
Vox Machina.
I mean, I know you mentioned that as a definitely go find it, but number 2.
I loved it, and full disclosure, based on our list it's not necessarily the top 10 best TV shows of the entire year.
List.
It's my list.
Don't justify yourself. Don't justify it.
And I have a lot of love and affection for that group and that story. And it was funny. I really did not expect the humor to be so on point. I mean, to be fair, they're all voice actors. So I expected this to be pretty good because they're voicing their own characters that they played throughout the game. But I mean, when you think about the concept alone behind it, it's just so freaking cool that these creative minds got to put something like that into an animated series format and have another season premiering. So
very cool. Any honorable mentions, Amanda, for top 10? We'll allow it.
No, I did not do honorable mentions
Wow.
this year. I was
Wow.
good.
Okay. It's my turn. Anything more you want to say about your top 10?
No, I think we kind of covered the shows pretty well.
Okay. I will say House of the Dragon, just outside my top 10. Abbott Elementary, I think, is a show people should check out. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. I didn't know if that's a movie or a show, so I'm just making an honorable mention. I'm just mentioning it. But here's my top 10. Number 10, George Carlin's American Dream. Wonderful documentary on my favorite comic of all time, and also how he became just the most insightful comedian, I think, of his time. And actually of all time. He's still very, very relevant today, and he's been dead for years. And number 9 is 1883. Freaking loved that show. It's on Paramount Plus. Number 8, Barry, season 3. Loved Barry. God, go watch Barry if you've never seen it. It's on HBO Max. Check it out. Number 7, Cobra Kai, season 5. Another wonderful season. Kind of getting a little nervous because we still don't have a season 6 renewal announcement yet. I don't know what the problem is, but let's get on that so I can be a little less nervous. Number 6, Stranger Things, season 4. Wonderful season. It's hard to really have anything negative to say. In my opinion, I think the show kind of took a huge step forward narratively, presentation-wise, score-wise, acting-wise. I felt like everybody took everything to a different level. And I would make the argument that it wasn't really so much a series as it was a bunch of movies. So, whatever. It was still wonderful. But my top 5. Number 5 is a show that nobody's talking about. Really makes me sad because it's fantastic. It's called The English, and it stars Emily Blunt and Chasky Spencer. And what it is Emily Blunt is a woman from England who comes to America to hunt down the man that killed her child. And while she's got fire and grit, she needs help. So Chasky Spencer is a Pawnee, a Native American, who worked with American soldiers to hunt down other Native Americans. And now he's basically resigned from his post, and he's going to help her find this man who killed her child. And they come to have this relationship that's very complicated. It's a wonderful show. It's on Prime Video. It's only 6 episodes. I freaking loved it. It has just a quite the changed of course as the show goes. It's just, it might seem like a Western. It's not. It's a story about 2 people that have tragedies in their past. Then number 4 is Wednesday. I loved Wednesday. Binged it like nobody's business. I watched it twice, I think now, two and almost 3 times. I've rewatched that show. Love it. Jenna Ortega is everything. Everything about that show is great except for Luis Gomez. So he's just not good.
That's a good call. I agree with it. Even though it was my number 1, I agree with you. That was the only disappointing part of the show.
Yeah, Gomez is no good. He's got no charm. I don't care if he looks like the comic character. He doesn't have any panache. Number 3, Ozark season 4. I will say they made one choice in the show that was completely unnecessary, because I never in a million years believed that character would put herself in that specific situation that would lead to that. I thought it was kind of a weak moment in an otherwise great season. So, so I will
forever
thing
where there was like no stakes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with the way it ended, except for one character's fate. And I don't want to spoil that, but that character, the whole series would never, ever put themselves in a situation that stupidly. So I just have a hard time with it. So number 2, Only Murders in the Building. It was my number 1 show last year.
I forgot about that show.
Oh my God. How do you forget? It's magic.
I still haven't finished the 2nd season. I'm like halfway through it.
I love it. I have it has created in me a reignited love for Steve Martin and Martin Short, and their antics and their banter is just wonderful. And Selena Gomez, not only just on the show, which I think she's very funny on the show, but it has kind of led me to her as an artist outside of it, and her documentary that she did, which really takes you into her own mental health and what she struggled with. She's a very talented and also seemingly genuine person in a world of narcissistic snobs, so it's, she's kind of magical in her own right. So it's wonderful seeing those 3 together. My number 1 And I know you're going to think, well, Aaron, it's because you did an interview with this guy and it went viral and it was huge.
Oh,
No.
of course.
No, it isn't that. It isn't because, we've got tens of thousands of views of me and Alan Richardson just hanging out, having a great time. It isn't because he called me back and wanted me to handle a panel for him when he came to Chicago to talk to veterans. It isn't because of that. It's because I freaking love Jack Reacher, the books. And as much as I like the movies, Tom Cruise was never Jack Reacher. Alan Richardson is freaking Jack Reacher. He embodies everything about that character. He understands that physical presence isn't just about beating the shit out of somebody. It's about having the ability to. But it's also about just walking into a room and commanding presence, which is what he does every time he's on frame. I was shocked he was as good as he was, because even though I found him charming in the interview, I'm like, I know this character back to front. I've read multiple books from the Jack Reacher series, and it's very specific, and he's so good looking, and Jack Reacher's not really a great looking guy, but man, he pulls it off. He pulls it off. He's magical. Reacher is my favorite show of the year because they finally brought what I love about the books to the show. It's a fun, pulpy crime action thriller. That's what it is. It's not meant to be deep. I don't want to hear about how it doesn't really get to the epitome of the human spirit. I don't give a shit. It's fun. And he beats the shit out of people wonderfully. Love it. Love it. That's on Prime Video. There you go. There's my 10. Troy?
Very interesting top threes from both of you so far. Very against the crowd, it seems like. It's interesting. Okay. Number 10 for me was Westworld. And it only made the list because it has a fantastic final episode for a series finale. Because even though it wasn't a series, but even though it wasn't a series finale initially, it became a series finale and it works brilliantly. So Westworld made the spot at number 10. Ozark was at number 9. House of the Dragon was at number 8. Obi-Wan Kenobi coming in at number 7.
Really?
I really enjoyed the relationship between Obi-Wan and Princess Leia. I thought their chemistry was super fun, and the battles between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, and getting the dark Darth Vader, and just that was just awesome.
Were you excited that Hayden Christensen was back too? Were you excited about?
He's like there for like 2 seconds. It's not a big deal. Like you don't really see Hayden Christensen.
It's him in the suit. He did the suit work. Apparently,
that's fine. It's still James Earl Jones's voice. I don't care.
I know.
Let's see, was that 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 was Severance. I watched it so fast, I don't even remember what happened. I just knew that I was like, oh my God, at the end. So I really need to go back and watch that again. Number 5.
I need to finish that one. I do like that show, and I haven't gotten around. I can't watch that one with my wife. So
you're going to love it. You're going to love it. It's so good. Number 5, Only Murders in the Building. Number 4 for me was The Rings of Power. So good. So good. Like you don't even know like how good. We've been like waiting for some of these visuals and places to be seen. The minute they go into one area in particular, you're just like, please let it be this. Please let it be this. And then when she says what it is, you're just like, yes, it's so good.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Finish your thought, and then I'll ask you.
Oh, I was going to say. And then when you find out like who's who at the end of the first season, like mind blown, because you're so confused until the final minute, and then it's just like it clicks, and it's so well done how they do the reveal.
Okay, so my question is, why do you think? And I know I still say horrible timing on Prime Video's part,
100%.
bringing this out when House of the Dragon wasn't going on at the same time.
100%.
Bad plan. But Amazon Prime said that this did phenomenally well for their service. So do you think that the only reason why we didn't hear more about it, like on social media and stuff, is just because House of the Dragon was sucking up so much of the social media talk?
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about, you have to be in the news cycle, and you have to be first, and you have to be ever present. And Game of Thrones was just so big of a brand that was all that was in the media that you saw, because in order to get to any Rings of Power, you had to search specifically for Rings of Power, which is going to be specifically mostly the nerds and the geeks and the Tolkienites and whatever else you want to call yourselves. And they're talking in their circles, most likely. They're talking on deep-seated Tolkien websites with deep-seated Middle-earth mythology. They're not out in the zeitgeist with everything else with Twitter and Facebook. But if you're any kind of respect for Tolkien and Middle-earth, like Rings of Power is, yes, Galadriel is not as awesome as she is, in the show. She's not a warrior in the books or whatever, but you have to do some stuff to spice TV up sometimes. Mm-hmm. But when you understand who the characters are and the history and the legacy and how it works towards the future, it's just so well done that these are stories that have been meant to be. This is what Star Wars should be doing. Go back to the beginning. Go back to the High Republic. Go back to Darth Plagueis. Give me those stories, because those would be interesting. That's why Rings of Power was so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that was number 4. Number after that one would be Stranger Things at number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, because I am just freaking impressed every season how they're able to pull characters from the past and make a story work. Including Daniel LaRusso's girlfriend from Karate Kid 3. Like, just shows up out of nowhere. I mean, I'm telling you, Cobra Kai, if you haven't been watching it, this is the show to watch because it's just so good. If you liked any of the Karate Kid movies in the 80s, you have to watch Cobra Kai at number 2.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you all know what my number 1 show was this year. I do not rewatch television series except for Lost. It's the only one I rewatch. I haven't even rewatched Fringe, and I only watch certain episodes of Alias. But to watch a whole series, I watched it 5 times.
Holy shit.
3 in one weekend. And that, of course, is Station 11. So good. So good. Check it out. I think what Station 11 did was come on at the right moment, coming out of the pandemic. We're finally through that second dark winter, and it just starts with, depression, anxiety, pandemic, and it leads to, at the end, to a place of hope and a place of care and a place of reconnection. And the way that it's done over this 20-year period and round theater and art and not devices and not politics, it just gives us back our storytelling roots as we go through. It's just so well done that it was just the right thing you needed to see at the right time. It's like Ted Lasso was during the pandemic when it first came on.
You mean Roy?
Roy Lasso, yes.
Roy Kento.
Roy Kento.
Kento. All right, these are great lists, man. We had some great. I hope everybody's seen everything. If you haven't, well, my God, go watch it. We want to mention that our show is independently funded, therefore all the expenses are from our own pockets, and Patreon does help fans support their favorite podcast. Once you sign up, you get immediate access to all bonus content in the respective tier. There's a lot of our Bad Movie Night, which is where we look at a movie that critics or fans didn't necessarily like, but we think is a good movie. And so it's a spin on that. So don't think Bad Movie Night and it's all negative. It's actually the opposite. We're trying to find a positive in something that other people didn't like. And then we also have a bonus episode that's out once a month. So go to patreon.com/The Hollywood Outsider. That's patreon.com/The Hollywood Outsider. And please do support the show. And we're going to start putting our raw, unedited data in the old Patreon. Or we're hoping to. Probably the video
data
thing.
What is this, an Excel spreadsheet?
You know what I'm saying.
We're going to put up the Access database version of the Ho.
We're going to put it up. You can hear all the stuff that I wouldn't want people to hear publicly. So if you want to hear all that, it should be in there. We're hoping we'll start with this episode, but no promises because I can be a dum-dum. All right, now we're going to move into movies. It's movie time. Now, these are movies that include anything on video on demand, streaming channels. As long as the film released new in 2022, it counts toward this award. Okay? All right. We're starting with the best use of a worn out movie cliche or plot. Troy?
This goes to Avatar, The Way of the Water, because they had the best use of every plot of every movie ever used previously. There was a little Titanic. There's a little Jaws. There's a little of every single movie you could think of. You could there was a little Empire Strikes Back. I mean, it's just like how we waited 13 years to watch the stuff that we've already seen 1,000 times. I don't know, but it works. So kudos to you, James Cameron, for doing absolutely nothing except coloring the background.
It is like a coloring book, a script. That's what it is. Give me the pink crayon. Okay. Blue. More blue. And by the way, your graphic, Troy has a graphic for the video of this.
He has a typo in it.
And it says warn. Like, warn you. I will warn you of these cliches as opposed to worn out, which is funny. All right, Amanda, what's your best use of a worn out cliche or plot?
So I used, or I chose sexually charged teenagers getting murdered in X.
Okay. How did they do that better than other?
Okay. So I wouldn't say that it's the best thing that's ever happened in terms of this cliche, but I'm a little resistant to some of these horror movies that kind of go back to the same wheel over and over again and try to turn the same things out. But I still felt like X was a little bit different. It had a different take to it. But I loved that 70s horror cliche added in to kind of reinforce the time of when they're making this movie that, hey, if you have sex, you're going to die. Bad things will happen to you if you have sex.
And it's a porn that they're trying to make.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of sex happening.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My pick is The Banshees of Inisherin, which is Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, and Martin McDonagh is the director. They did In Bruges. So the cliche or movie plot that it's kind of revamping, in my opinion, is a play on a bad breakup. One day, Colin Farrell is told by his best friend that he no longer wants to hang out with him. I mean, it's really abrupt, too. He just that's how the movie starts. His best friend says, I do not want to hang out with you anymore. Get away from me. And it's really kind of cold. And Colin Farrell just can't accept it. He really, really struggles with it. And to me, it feels like the movie is director Martin McDonagh's way of crafting a film that kind of showed men what it's like to be ghosted in a relationship. You know, Farrell is absolutely obsessed with why his friend no longer wants to hang out with him. He can't understand it. He feels like there's got to be a reason. He did something. And sometimes people just grow apart for whatever reason. And it's kind of a brutal film because as it goes, it gets darker and darker, and then some crazy shit happens, and it kind of keeps it from being as amazing as I thought it could have been. But it's still a very, very good film. And it shows how it affects the person who is left, as well as the person that is trying to leave. Like, they might not necessarily be wrong either. So it's an interesting dynamic and a real kind of dissection of a bad breakup is the way I looked at it. It's on HBO Max if people want to watch it, by the way.
Today. It might not be there tomorrow.
Yeah, the time we're recording this, it's there. All right, best physical effects or stunts. Amanda, physical. Let's get physical.
Let's get physical on Bullet Train.
You like them fight scenes, did you?
Yeah, it was cool. There was one scene in particular towards the end of the movie that I was like, holy crap, that was fun. And I don't want to say too much, but there's somebody gets a weapon through their head.
Okay.
And so if you've seen it and you know what I'm talking about, it was a really cool moment. But the entire movie has tons of really fun stunts. And I actually just recently watched this one because I wanted to make sure I got it in before the end of the year for this awards show. And it totally takes the cake for me.
That's a good one. Troy?
I did not show up sick to work because I concur with Amanda's choice.
Yeah.
With Bullet Train? You're with Bullet Train?
I have 2 words. Water bottle.
That's funny. And Aaron Taylor Johnson, and now they're talking about he might be in the running for James Bond. I wouldn't have bought it before this movie. I buy it after that movie.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I do too.
So good. So good.
My pick is Top Gun Maverick. I just, the jet scenes, the flight scene, I mean, all that stuff is just fantastic to watch and behold. And those pilots are amazing. I know there's a lot of digital stuff in there too, but a lot of that is practical. A lot of that is practical. And just getting to relive that, even honestly, even that football game, the oiled up football game, I think that counts too. And that was worth watching. So I don't know if that makes me gay, but it could.
It's all right if it does.
At least makes me intrigued. All right. Best use of CGI in any film. Best use of CGI in any film. Troy?
Oh, I mean, is it really a contest this year? I mean, Avatar.
I think it's a contest between two films, but you go with yours and I'll explain.
Yeah, Avatar: Way of the Water for sure. I mean, like, I couldn't tell where the CGI started and where the real life began, if there even was real life to begin with in the first place, except for Spider. Spider was definitely human.
Yeah,
but I start to question whether or not did they actually CGI him in as well.
I got a feeling they probably will in the future. I do. I know that he said they have his body model, and I'm like, well, that just sounds unfortunate. I don't know if that sounds kosher, but I will agree with you. Avatar: The Way of Water, best special effects we can probably agree we've seen in a movie in a long time, probably ever. But I'm going to say this: best use of CGI. Have you guys seen RRR?
No.
Okay, it's an Indian film. It is the most batshit crazy thing I've ever seen in my life. And they use special effects to a ridiculous degree. So while I will give the award to Avatar, I will concede the effects are the best in Avatar. They are the most entertaining in RRR. It's just who thought of this? It's a world of imagination. You would really, really, I think you would enjoy it, except the movie is super long. So you can't watch it at 2x speed. But it's something that I recommend everybody check out. The effects are phenomenal.
So obviously Avatar has to take it, but I do wonder how y'all may feel about Turning Red.
The Pixar animation?
Yeah.
I'm turning red thinking about that movie.
I didn't see it.
I watched about 25 minutes and turned it off. I've never been so disappointed in Pixar in my life.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
It was like the animation was good, but it was, and I know what the topic's about. It's not about the topic. The topic is great. I think that the voice acting,
ladies' time? Is it about
the voice
ladies'
acting
time?
and the over the topness of it was just so grating and annoying that you just, the thing with Pixar movies is that Pixar appeals to both kids and adults. And this one was literally a made for TV, straight to home video kid movie. And it was just,
bro, absolutely not. Absolutely
fight
not.
for it. Fight, guys, fight.
it's so bad.
It is so good. It is such a good movie. I was crying. I was crying, Troy. I had little like water droplets coming from my eyeballs. Salt water droplets. It may have been that too, but guys, okay. Well, you know
the
what?
difference here is
I'm not liking the movie. I didn't see it.
Turning Red should have been the Disney Animation Studios, and Encanto should have been the Pixar. Like they've officially now flipped the script.
That's why they brought Bob Iger back, so I can get it right.
I know.
Amanda, we don't want to crap on your pick, so why is that?
Well, Troy already did. It's fine.
Troy wants to. I don't want to.
It's your pick. I'm crapping on the movie.
Your pick.
The movie's not good.
Well, I think the movie is good. But when I think about the effects, the animation, the way that they made this character, this kid turn into a bear and have all of those personal emotions on this bear's face that I felt like I could resonate so deeply with. Like I was feeling what she was feeling, while I also cognitively recognized that I'm right now at this moment while watching this movie empathizing with a freaking bear. And I just feel like when you have animation that is that powerful, that makes you connect with the character, and a character that isn't even human at that point, I feel like that's just really powerful and good stuff. By no means am I saying that it's the best of all of the options, especially when you consider James Cameron's Avatar, but it was still really great to me. And I felt like it was something that I would have loved to see when I was growing up. and have that.
I suppose, yeah, because you just missed it, because there was a person that we cared about that was a human being dealing with emotions and this teenage angst and turning into a furry creature called Teen Wolf. So I've seen the story before.
No.
Lord. Wow.
Also, I also saw a Pixar movie where a human turned into a bear and you felt emotion and connection to it very strongly, and that was called Brave. So there's nothing original about this movie other than
he's
about
taking this one to
infuriating.
heart, Amanda. He's like, no, I'm not
You
going
know
to let you
what?
have this one.
Just wait till I get to my most disappointing movie of this year, Troy, and I'm fucking coming for you.
Jesus.
Just wait.
All right. Best villain or badass?
Put him up.
Best villain or badass? I get to go first on this one. I never thought I'd struggle between Viola Davis and Art the Clown, but here we are. And
Oh my God.
I'm giving this award to Art the Clown. Now, I want to preface this with, I don't think Terrifier 2 is a fantastic movie. I think it has really interesting ideas. The gore's great. It's a half hour to 45 minutes too long. But I will say that I had never seen the first Terrifier, and I watched that one, and then I watched this one, and he became a character that really, really stuck out to me because of the way that he's performed. And I know, Amanda, you saw Terrifier 2, didn't you? Didn't you see it?
I saw the first and the second, yeah.
Okay, now you were not a fan at all, correct?
I mean, I don't really feel like I'm a big fan of Art the Clown. There's some of the movies, both of them, that I think have merit and, good concept behind. But yeah, there was so much of it where it was like, what's the purpose? It just felt like we're going to just put as much gore on screen as possible just so we can say we have. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the case. And I think Lauren Lavera is a wonderful final girl. I think she was kind of badass. But there's something in kind of the almost playfulness that David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown here, how he does his performances and how he'll be menacing and then he's actually laughing at the horrific things he's doing. Yeah. And it just really, really stood out to me and stuck with me. And long after I saw the film, I was still kind of like, oh, that's a really cool character. And I don't love the movie, but there's so much more I could see them doing with that character. Like, it just really became a character that captivated my imagination. So that's why he stuck with me. Troy.
All right. Mine is going to be more recent, but it is Julian Slowik in The Menu.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting pick.
I think for villain, it's about, he believes strongly in what he's doing to be right, even when he's wrong. And just the way that the movie ends, I thought it was just a fantastic moment for Julian and how he connects, with himself, and then obviously finishes with his master art piece at the end. It's just such a crazy movie to begin with, and how it all goes down. But I was entertained by Julian the entire time.
It's a great performance.
That's a good pick. Mine is, I mean, you guys should be able to guess it at this point, but it's Scarlet Witch from Doctor Strange, Elizabeth Olsen's. I thought that, and this, I think she does fit here, whether you think she's a villain or a badass. She's definitely a villain of some story. And Elizabeth Olsen was just so freaking incredible in her performance, where, she goes from angry to vengeful to sad to, just this very complex, wide range of emotions that she can shift literally from one to another in the same scene, in the same shot. Mm-hmm. And so I absolutely adore her, and her bringing this character to life in the way that she did felt so authentic, and it felt like a really great tribute to that character. And so I have a tremendous accolades that I put forward to Miss Olsen.
It's a good pick. Nothing to complain about there. Okay. Best supporting actor. Across the board. Movies across the board, Amanda. Best supporting actor.
So I need you guys to just hang tight because I'm going to shock you.
Mm-hmm.
This one comes from a movie you guys would never expect to be in or around my top 10. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie is Top Gun Maverick. And the actor is Glenn Powell.
Oh, you're lucky.
Hangman.
Because you almost got booted from the whole show. Because if you would have said Miles Teller, get the frack out. Just get out. All right.
I'm fired.
All right, no. Glenn Powell. I love Glenn Powell. Let's go.
Hangman. He was so great. Oh my God, he was so fun. He was witty. He brought that character to life. He brought that movie to another level just by his presence. And oh my God, I just felt like he was such an incredible asset to it. I still love so much that they created this for him because they knew that he was such a talented actor that they had to give him something. So yeah, I definitely put him as my best supporting actor.
Go find Everybody Wants Some, I think is the name of the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
He's so good in that. He's so good.
Yes.
So my pick, okay. Everything Everywhere All at Once is a wonderful movie. And Ke Kwan, who was Short Round in one of my personal favorite Indiana Jones movie. But he plays Wayman Wang. And I was so happy to see him back. But then I watch his performance and I'm moved. And for reasons I didn't quite expect. And it's that his character is nothing but kindness. And I think there's something very understated about the need for genuine kindness in the world. Wayman isn't a magical character just because he kicks ass, which he does. He kicks a lot of ass. He does his own stunts. He did stunt choreography, if you didn't know. Ke Kwan is actually a very talented martial artist. But because through every tribulation, he always does the right thing for his family. And I totally understand that. I understand this character from start to finish. I believed in his performance. He's selfless. He's decent. He's loyal. He's honest. And most of all, he's kind. And that is what I think just comes shining through everything he does in this movie. And also, he is the absolute heart of the entire film. That's my pick.
A tremendous 100%. Pick.
100%. Well, this category was very controversial last year. So I thought I would keep the theme going. With supporting actors. And I feel that after the complete oversight of Caesar and the underrepresentation of animals in these characters, that the best supporting actor of 2022 goes to Payakin, the Tatum.
The whale? The whale. Or not whale? The space whale?
The space whale. The space whale.
Are you serious?
The space whale is the space whale is the only reason I survived Avatar: Way of the Water. That movie has such a horrible, horrible story that I've seen 1,000 times. That if it wasn't for the visuals and Payakin the space whale doing his most impressive Empire Strikes Back tow cable impression, like hands down,
that's funny.
Like that whale is just going to be in your hearts forever.
It really is, and he does a badass backflip. So.
Badass backflip.
Yeah.
Badass tail flip. Badass head flip. Badass fin flip. Badass take out choppers. That whale took out a single battalion of sky people. He's so awesome.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool whale.
It makes Tom Cruise look small. Oh, wait.
Tom Cruise is
and
small.
That's saying something.
Yeah. Try watching the movie Reacher and then watching the show back to back. That'll really make him look small. All right. Now we move on to Best Actor. Remember, we don't do male or female. We just do actor. So, Troy, Best Actor.
Best Actor for me this year in movies. Man, it's a hard one. But I think I'm going to give it to Viola Davis for The Woman King.
That's a good pick. Yeah. She's
Great
wonderful.
pick.
Viola Davis doesn't need any accolades. Whatever. She's a fantastic actor across the board in everything she does. But this is what Wakanda Forever needed, was this type of connection to that spiritualness of the tribe and fighting for what we believe in. And it just really a fantastic performance. And hopefully it extends into the Oscar for her.
I hope so. She deserves a nomination for sure.
For sure.
But who should win the Oscar is my pick. So I'm just saying, best actor. Danielle Deadweiler, who you probably have never heard of. She's done lots of stuff, but she's more an actor I didn't really know very well. But she's the star of Till, which is about Mammy Till Mobley, the mother of Emmett Till, who was brutally murdered due to a white woman asserting that this boy flirted with her. It's a true story. It's a tragic story. And I know everybody wants to talk about how bitching Austin Butler's Elvis is, or how Brendan Fraser is magnificent in The Whale. But this is the performance of the year as far as I'm concerned, because the strength, the ferociousness, the humanity, the pain, the bravery, the integrity, and the sheer brilliance of Deadweiler's performance as Mammy, I don't think can be understated. The term heroic, I think, is often wasted a lot, but Mammy was heroic in real life, and Deadweiler captures the strength of this phenomenal woman 10 times over as she's trying to not only just deal with the death of her son, the absolute murder and humiliation of her son, and the destruction of his body, but also refuses to just walk away and let the world ignore his death. It's a truly haunting and captivating performance, and she was fantastic.
That was a very good description too, to support your pick.
Thank you.
All emotional. Mine is less impactful, but she was just really awesome, and I just couldn't not give this to her because, for one, we all knew that she was a wonderful actress or actor, but what we didn't know is how much she could give us in an action performance, in an emotional performance from the perspective of a mother. And that is Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like everything that they wanted to draw out of me, it emotionally came from her character, came from her performance, where she really made the audience align their emotions with hers. You know, when she was sad, we felt sad with her. When, there was conflict and tension, we felt that conflict and tension in us too. And just, the story that supports her role and the complexity to her character definitely adds to it. But all around, this was by far the best performance I had seen all year.
Very good. Good pick. Well, we all had great choices. No whales to be found. So
not in this category anyway.
Not in this category. Best specific moment in the film. This is your favorite moment in a film all year long.
I know you guys are getting really tired of me bringing this up. So I'll be very quick. Scarlet Witch, when she is being told that she needs to consider being reasonable, and she says, "You have no idea just how reasonable I have been." And like the ferocity, I think that's a word, just how intense that moment was, that line, that delivery, and the impact that it has, but also what that signifies. Like when you think about her character and the trauma and turmoil that she's been through as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, and everything that she had to get through to get to this point where she literally couldn't even see her deceased husband's body. They were just like ripping him apart. When you put the humanity into perspective of what that's like for someone, for her to kind of, just create her own little magical world and exist in that for some time in WandaVision, and then to come into Doctor Strange where she's like, I am tired of pleasing you guys. I'm tired of restraining myself. I'm tired of, if I do something, then she's a crazy woman. And that's how she's seen, but that's fine to her because she's like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being calm and reserved and of doing things the right way. I don't care anymore. Like you're coming for my family. You're coming for me. And I, on some level, I resonate and connect with that character for that reason. And I think a lot of us do. And I think especially parents would, if they had their children taken away from them in whatever capacity, if you just think about that, you would go to the ends of the earth to destroy everything, if you were in that situation and if you lost your whole family.
Absolutely. I don't know if I'd do it for my fictional made up family, but
But it's real to her. It's real to her.
Yeah, it's real to her.
And
Although
just like if Disney would have been like an R-rated movie house instead of PG-13, she would have been like, if you want to restrain me, you're going to have to fucking kill me.
That'd be hilarious if she did use that line.
I would pay extra for that version.
I would too. Yeah.
Troy, what's your best specific moment in film?
When we were all sitting in the theater and watching Top Gun and he hits Mach 10 in the edge of space. It's just, man, on a big screen like that, it was just breathtakingly gorgeous. And he just keeps pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And you're like, man, do not push it any further, but keep pushing it. Because the rumble in the seats as the edge just keeps going higher, hotter and hotter. It was so good. So good.
Such a great theatrical experience. I've got a friend at work who said, I was waiting for it to come to TV. I watched it last week and it was really good. I'm like, shut up. Like, I don't even want to hear you watched it on TV. It's not even close to the same. It just isn't. I've rewatched it. It's not the same. Well, it's just like, and he, of course, has to give that argument. Well, I've got a really big TV. I'm like, well, your really big TV, does it make your ass shake? Because my ass shook. Both cheeks.
And Aaron,
we can make it shake.
He complained about coming to the theater, to that Shake Your Ass theater for that movie. And I'm just like, no, you want to feel the fucking afterburners in your ass.
Felt it. Both cheeks. My best specific moment actually is from Doctor Strange, and it's when Wanda is murdering Captain Marvel and Captain Carter and Mr. Fantastic and Black Bolt.
Yes.
The murder scene. She just killed all of those people in what mouth? And just all of that was just fantastic. And when I say fantastic, I mean for fans, it was fantastic.
Yeah. And the simplicity for her to murder all of them.
So
That's
good.
what was like, ding, girl.
Loved it.
Great pick.
All right. This is the Justin McCumber Award for movies. Again, this is your personal pick for a little scene or discussed film that just completely won you over and you hope more people find it in the new year. So your pick, Troy.
Already been mentioned in the course of recording this episode, but Selena Gomez, My Mind and Me.
Oh.
If you have not seen this documentary, you have to see this documentary.
Mm-hmm. Why did it speak to you so much? I mean, I know like, oh, she's an actress. Oh, she's, a popular singer. Oh, she's Disney Channel. And it's like, no, like this is a human being. And when you go through the experiences she's gone through in this documentary and just see what she said, it's like, man, so good.
While we're talking about it, and sorry to jump over you, Aaron, but this was also my pick. And so I'll just kind of add my quick additional thoughts. I don't feel like I've really ever had a movie that spoke to my internal monologue the way that this documentary did, because and just from a perspective of someone being that vulnerable and putting all of their raw, nitty gritty emotions on screen, moments that people would sell to a tabloid so you could get made fun of, for a year and a half. She's putting on display to help inform people of, what she's gone through and how her mental health has really suffered over the years and what she's endured, in a way to also give us hope and inspire us that things will get better on the other end. But I think the other side of it too is seeing, constantly we hear people who are just, oh, they're celebrities, they're rich, they don't have anything to cry about, they don't have anything to worry about. And one of the things that I feel like I always come back to is they're still human. And more than anything, their entire lives are under a microscope. I cannot imagine living where I cannot even exit my house without being bombarded by paparazzi or feeling like every intimate and emotional moment that I have is going to be captured on film and put out as a video or as a photo for everyone to see and for everyone to share their perspectives on it and hate that person. And the body image things that she talks about too that contributes to where she's at and mentally is just something that I think the majority of people can connect with in some way or another. It was just one of the most relatable documentaries that I've seen that really, I cried the entire documentary sobbing with her, and it was just so good.
Yeah, it's wonderful. The song is wonderful too. My Mind and Me, the song, it's very good. So
it is indeed.
She's a winner. Mine is a movie called Vengeance. It's about a podcaster, and it stars The Office's BJ Novak as a podcaster who goes to this small Texas town. He just shows up to look into the death of this girl, and it's basically one of those where he's trying to be serial. He's trying to solve this murder, and it's going to hit the big time. It's going to save his career, and blah 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 blah. Well, the suspects are mostly good people, and it might not even be foul play. So it's one of those, does he want to create drama here? Like, what does he want to do? But there's a lot of playing on cliches, including like, what do you do if you actually cannot find justice? Because maybe there's nothing to have justice for. You don't know. And it's a fun little movie that nobody's really talking about. And I definitely recommend it. It's very quirky, which I hate to use that word because it's overused, but it's definitely a very quirky movie. And, it's basically a play on that whole, washed up writer, detective, journalist trying to solve a small town murder, that kind of thing. But this one might not be a murder. It's called Vengeance. Check it out. Okay, so your most disappointing movie for whatever your reasons. Most disappointing. Amanda?
Troy, I told you I was coming for you. I told you that I would get my vengeance, speaking of, for the just outright rude comments about Turning Red. The shittiest movie that I saw this year that literally made me want to cancel Christmas because I disliked it so much was Spirited.
Okay.
I told you I'm coming for you.
Why do you hate this movie so much?
The music was garbage. You know what? When we sign actors up and we say we're going to do a musical, let's test it and see if they can sing first of all.
I'm with you on
Second of all, let's make sure that the songs are something that we give a shit about, that are fun, that are like catchy. They acted like they were going to be the next Greatest Showman. I'm sorry, but you are not Hugh Jackman. This is not the way this is going to go. These songs are not going to be played on the radio. These songs are not going to be on repeat on somebody's Spotify or Apple Music. This is just garbage. The only reason that this movie even did moderately okay is because of Ryan Reynolds. And you know what? God bless him. I give him the world. He is wonderful and delightful. But even he, who is so beautiful and talented, could not save Spirited. No, just horrible. Disappointing.
I will tell you, Will Ferrell cannot sing at all. Like, not a lick.
Honestly, they owe me money. They owe me money for making me watch it. I want a refund.
I will agree with you that they should have had better singers. But it is on someone's Spotify. It's on multiple people's Spotify and Apple Music playlists on repeat.
Yeah, people
just
who are
record.
deaf. Yeah, that's it.
I think I just died. Oh, Troy, what's your
two words for you, Amanda? Good afternoon.
I thought you were going to give me two different words than that.
Yeah. Well, they mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Mine, of course, was probably one of the most marketed movies, very cleverly marketed movies of 2022, and that was Smile. And it was only disappointing for my reasons because of one scene only. If you take that scene out of the movie is probably one of the best movies of the year because it's a great psychological thriller and you don't know what's happening. But this one scene, it's like, oh my God, did that just happen?
The very
and it
end,
just
right?
completely takes you out of the movie.
Very end? Was it the very end?
The very end.
Yeah. I understand what you're
The
saying.
worst use of CGI for the year.
Mine's Babylon. I could babble on and on about it, but I'll try to be succinct. It is a movie that has a fantastic performance from Margot Robbie. She is crushing it in every scene. Brad Pitt does really well. And these basically, she's an up-and-coming actress. He's an established actor. And they're both trying to endure the transition from silent films to talkies, which is it's a huge culture shift in Hollywood because it changed the entire dynamic and the kind of stars that were in Hollywood at the time. So it's right up my alley. I love this kind of history. I love this shit. And it's Damien Chazelle who did to La La Land, which I freaking love, and did Whiplash. He's a great director. There are moments in this movie where it's amazing. The first 30 minutes of it is just like one huge orgy Hollywood party that is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's just wonderfully done. But why is this movie an hour longer than it needed to be? It's at least an hour too long. It's 3 hours and 9 minutes for no goddamn reason I can find. Because there is so much stuff I can just look at and say, that should have been cut. 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 That's a stupid plot point nobody cares about. And it's just like on and on and on. And you have all these things where this should have been a masterpiece. And it could have been. It could have been. Still could. Get an editor that's worth a shit. And you would have something wonderful. But unfortunately, when you have a movie where I just want it to be over because they're such stupid, exhausting plot points, that is not a good movie. And that is something that just is excruciatingly disappointing because it could have been great. Oh, just like the actual Babylon, it's just nothing but excess. The same thing he's kind of trying to point a camera to. I'm like, well, edit. So you're not actually doing the thing that you're bitching about. Jesus.
He said what he said. Mic drop.
Said what it said. But I still think Margot Robbie should be nominated for an Oscar, but she gave it her all. She really did. Okay, the top 10. Your top 10, Troy. Let's go.
All right, number 10 for my movies this year starts with one of the best Christmas movies to date, which is Spirited.
Bullshit! Bullshit it is!
From the guys that wrote the music to La La Land, they also wrote the music for Spirited.
They fucked up.
And Dear Evan Hansen and The Greatest Showman. Number 9 was Glass Onion. I thought it was fun. It was good. It was great and all that fun stuff, but it just wasn't like, wow, like the first one was. Avatar 2 coming at number 8. Seen it before. Great Planet Pandora documentary, but wasn't anything that was just super wow. Avatar Project, that's still coming. The Adam Project, however, was fun. Really had a good time with that one. Doctor Strange, cool. I was pleasantly surprised by this year, and for no other reason other than seeing Xavier back and who could potentially be Fantastic Four lead. Make that happen, because that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then we saw Nope. Nope was really, 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 really good. I still think about that damn shoe to this day. I have no idea why it's standing up by itself, and it drives me crazy. So Nope is coming in there. Then Top Gun Maverick at number 4. Really good time. Very similar to the first movie, so nothing really wow there other than the jets. The jets obviously flying were pretty spectacular. Pretty good. Black Phone is my surprise number 3. I thought this was a really well done psychological thriller. I loved the visions that the one kid was having about what was happening and the connection between the two of them. I thought that was a really well done plot point. I thought it was just super good. Bullet Train number 2, so much fun. Could watch it over and over and over again. It's just like we talked about earlier, the effects are awesome. The storyline's funny. The cameos are a blast. Like everything about it is just on point. But it was trumped by one of the best movies probably ever made. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Just super amazing when you think about all the things that it talked about, all the things that it had for mental illness, connection with parents, connection with your spouses, connection with your generations. It's a full-fledged movie about a freaking bagel.
Funny. Oh, good list. Good
That was a
list.
great list.
Amanda?
All right, I'm going to start with my honorable mention, which is
Spirited.
Top Gun Maverick. No. Top Gun Maverick. Surprising to everyone, I'm sure, but I actually really did enjoy it. I felt like this is one of the few movies where Tom Cruise actually did act, and I enjoyed it. So,
But you
That
wouldn't
should
put
tell
it
you
in
how
your
much she
top
hated
10.
Spirited, because she's actually putting Tom Cruise ahead of Spirited.
yeah, that's how much I didn't like it. I'm so mad about it. I want
But she's still not going to put it in her top 10 because she's like, I can't put Tom Cruise in my top 10 just on
Oh,
general.
no.
No, there's
Never.
there's too many other good ones.
Mhm.
Like Prey, which
Oh,
comes
that's
in at
great.
number 10.
Great movie.
Number 9, The Gray Man.
Hmm.
Number It was fun. I liked it. It was good. Number 8, The Batman.
Wow.
I know.
Do you like
No-
because it takes him 45 minutes to walk into a room and then 45 minutes to walk to the next room and then 30 minutes to walk into another room?
I still liked it, but that's why it's not in the top 5, right?
Except that when he
Sure.
finally got into the room, her panties dropped every time. That was the
Nah.
deal.
Jesus.
Whose panties? Not these
What?
panties.
What just happened?
I mean, that's how much he oozed. Even your panties dropped when he came in the room.
Jesus.
Number 7 is The Black Phone. Number 6, and this one is very personal to me too, because and we've talked about it on the South by Southwest episode, but Tony Hawk Until the Wheels Fall Off. It was very emotional to connect with that entire documentary and also get to interview Tony Hawk. So this one will forever have a special place in my heart. Number 5, so we're in the top 5. Scream, one of my all-time favorite franchises of forever, of all time. Number 4, The Lost City.
Mm-hmm.
Number
For no
3,
apparent reason on that one at all that made your list.
The Lost City. It was so much fun. It was hilarious. I
a lot
didn't
of
end up
fun.
on the box
Shameless
though.
plug. Shameless plug.
But I did get listed from like Fandango and stuff on ads, but you know, not,
Oh, yeah, I
not
forgot.
bragging.
Yeah, you totally just sold yourself out to put that in your top 5. Okay, yeah, I got it.
No. I really did love that movie. I've seen it a few times.
If you have to explain a joke, Aaron, it doesn't work well.
Yeah, well, it's true.
Number 3, Doctor Strange. Number 2,
Only because Wanda was in it. Okay.
primarily because Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Wanda, yeah,
That's
Yeah.
the whole reason.
primarily.
Yeah.
Number 2, Glass Onion.
Okay.
And number 1, coming in as the best movie of the year, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Wow. I'm sensing a trend.
There's a trend. Let's
I
see if
sense a
Aaron will
trend.
keep with it.
We'll see. I'll throw out some honorable mentions. Death on the Nile. I don't care what anybody says. I really love that
It was
movie.
much better than Orient Express for sure.
I agree. She Said was a very good film. It tells, even though it's a story you think you know about Harvey Weinstein, there's a lot more to it. Luckiest Girl Alive. I think that was
Great
Amanda
call.
recommended that one, but I finally checked that out. It was very good. It's a great movie. And also The Adam Project and Black Phone I would add to that list too. And also there's a little movie called Sissy, which is a horror movie about a friend that kind of comes in contact with their old high school bully and things go really fucked up. It's a good little horror flick. If you
It's
haven't heard of
wild.
it. Sissy, so check that out. All right, so my top 10. Number 10, Adam Sandler as a basketball coach and some of the best sports
Damn it.
shots I've seen
I
of
forgot that
anything.
was this
Hustle.
year.
Hustle. Hustle's number 10.
That movie is so
Hustle's number
good.
10.
Okay, it's my honorable mention.
There you go. It's a great movie. I don't love most sports movies because usually it's very, unless it's a sport I love, which I don't really dig basketball as much as football. But man, it's just so good. It's really about a guy who's trying to just find that. He's trying to find that
His
one
big break.
his big break, but also he comes to really just love this guy and just he wants to support him too. So it's a beautiful movie all around. Number 9 is The Lost City. It's nothing but fun. Brad Pitt is a freaking riot in this movie, and it's awesome to see him and Sandra Bullock all over the place together. Number 8, Till. No, it's a hard movie to watch, but it's worth watching, and I think everybody should watch it. Number 7 is Prey, because my God, Predator hasn't been this badass in a long time. And Amber Midthunder, I think is her name, and she's a badass final girl too. Number 6, The Woman King. Speaking of badasses, Viola Davis. What? She is fantastic. That movie's great. Number 5, my top 5, The Fabelmans. Literally just saw this one because it was one of the few that I had left to see on my gotta see it before we do the awards list. And I was wondering if it would even make my list, and it shot right to the top 5 because not only is it semi-autobiographical in terms of what made Steven Spielberg the person he is and what made him want to be a filmmaker, it also is a story about a family. I mean, his family, but a family in general, and the struggles that they have as they try to embrace their imagination and know when is it time to, live for yourself as opposed to other people. And it's just it's a beautiful story. And it also really captures what it's like to just be entranced with film and trying to be a part of it in some way. And, obviously that speaks very personally to me. And it's just a beautiful movie. And it's probably Steven Spielberg's most personal film, obviously, because he really shines a light, positive and negative, on his own family, which is, I'm sure, hard to do. He's even got one great joke in here when he faces his own bully, which is a true story. And it's just it's really, really clever. But The Fabelmans is worth checking out. Number 4, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. This is my favorite horror movie of the year, and it's not really a horror movie. It's more a comedy. But there's a lot of horrific shit going on. And it's about a Gen Z hurricane party that goes awry. And people start dying, and they're wondering who done it. And it's really, really funny. It's really dark. And when you get to the end and you're like, wait, what? And then you watch it again. I'm like, wow, that fits. I mean, even if it's a stretch, it fits. It's good. It's good. So check it out. Bodies, Bodies,
I
Bodies.
love how much you love that movie too.
Freaking love that movie. I mean, because, they're making fun of Gen Z, but also, also not making fun of them too. Like, not in so much a negative way, just taking the piss out of themselves, kind of. So it works. Number 3, Top Gun Maverick. I don't know what more you can say. The best Tom Cruise has been in years. I feel like he's acting, not just performing. It's the same plot as the first movie. Like, really? It's no different. And why Goose's son has the same ridiculous mustache as his dad, I don't understand. Still,
I forgot about the mustache.
But so be it. It's a really fun movie, and I think everybody that has seen it has enjoyed it, which is a plus. And in the theater, phenomenal experience. Number 2, Glass Onion. I saw that in the theater twice. Now it's on Netflix, and I've seen it once again. It really, really does hold up. I enjoy it. There's a lot of clever under the table jokes and references. A lot of cameos. Dong is one of the funniest cameos I've heard of in recent years. Google it if you really want to know. But it's my kind of movie. It's a murder mystery with jokes. So I really love it. And Janelle Monáe, I've liked her for years for various reasons, and she gets to shine here as a wonderful actress. Number 1, it's unanimous across the board. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. The most imaginative, creative, just bonkers film I've seen in forever. They made it for like $25 million, this movie, and it looks like a $150 million movie. Fantastic performances, special effects. It does go on about 20 minutes too long, but I still don't care. I've rewatched it and I enjoy it regardless. The relationship between mother and daughter and as a family, and the expectations that parents put on their kids and all this, like all this stuff just really, really works. I mean, generational trauma and generational dysfunction, and you want your kids to do well, but are you putting too much on your kids? And are you being fair to what your parents are doing? It's there's so much going. Hot dog fingers. What the fuck is that about? I mean, there's just so many different things happening. Jamie Lee Curtis giving the best performance, I think, maybe of her career, and just a wonderful movie all around.
In every dimension.
In every dimension.
In every dimension.
Why do they get multiverses so much smarter and better than Marvel can? when they've had years a head start, you know? I don't know. But my God, masterful.
Maybe there's a multiverse in DC where Ezra Miller is actually normal.
Yeah.
Maybe he got swapped. Maybe the real Ezra is in another dimension.
Yeah, and I mean, to think that Daniels had directed Everything Everywhere at Once, their last movie was about a farting corpse. So, I mean, they have really changed direction. And
True statement.
They're on to better things. All right, our listener top 10. So this is compiled from everybody that hit us up on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere else. We put them all into one big pile. This is the top 10 film and television for 2022. For TV, number 10, Cobra Kai. Number 9 was The Boys. Number 8, Peacemaker. That should get a special shout out just for that opening dance intro, right?
100%.
Number 7, Rings of Power. There you go, Troy. Troy, you sure you didn't make this list? Number 6, Severance. Number 5 is The Bear. Isn't that a cooking? Is it about cooking? I haven't seen this show.
Yeah, well, it's more about his character. It's more
Okay.
the character piece type of show. But he's a similar character to what he was in Shameless. So
Gotcha.
that's why I think there's a lot of there's a big affinity for him.
A lot of love.
And yeah.
Well, number 4 is Reacher. That was a huge hit. Did not expect it to be as
Nice.
huge a hit as it was. Number 3, House of the Dragon.
Yes.
No real surprise there. Number 2, and honestly, it'd be higher up on my list, but I felt like it took too many episodes to really find its footing before it really
Agree.
caught fire. Number 2 is Wednesday, which is pretty amazing for, first season of a show nobody really thought was going to be great to begin with. And boy,
Yeah.
did it blow the doors off. And number 1 is Stranger Things, season 4.
Of course.
Knocked it out of the park this year. Okay, now films. Number 10, The Atom Project. That's cool.
I'm kind of surprised by that.
Me too, but it was popular. Number 9 is Elvis. Also, thank you. Thank you very much. Number 8 is Prey. Number
That one
7.
got a lot of love. That's awesome.
Dude, this is like
awesome.
Dan Trachtenberg coming out of nowhere between this and 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, keep an eye on Dan. I
I'll
think
tell
he
you
was last time before I saw him doing this stuff, he was on this network called Revision 3, which was like a pre-YouTube, pre-podcasting television. It was just a weird kind of 3 guys doing weird movie and TV discussions on your TiVo, which you can get in your RSS feed. It was like pre-podcasting.
Sounds cool. We're at 7, Doctor Strange 2. Number 6, Avatar: The Way of Water. I think, because when you take it at the end of the year and it's only been out for a couple weeks, I bet you in a few more weeks that'd probably climb a few more spots if we had taken this poll in a month from now when more people have had a chance to see it.
That'd probably go down a few spots.
I think people love the effects, man. Like it's
gorgeous to look at. It's just
spectacle.
a bad story for 13 years of waiting.
I don't disagree with that part at all. Number 5 is Bullet Train. That's way higher than I thought it would be. Number
People
4.
love Brad Pitt.
Well, do you blame him? I mean,
No.
he's cool. They didn't
No, I
love him in
don't.
Babylon because nobody went and saw that movie but me. 4 is the Batman. I'm taking as long as I can so I can be at the same pace as his footsteps as every time he walks in a damn room. It takes forever. Number 3, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, wow. I thought that
Mhm.
would be number 1.
Well, it was not. Number 2 is Glass Onion. So Glass Onion trumped Everything Everywhere All at Once. And number 1 is Top Gun Maverick.
Of course.
Yeah.
Those
Commercial
80s kids.
sellouts.
Now, poor Troy. I think he's dying over there. He's
I am.
Gotta wrap this up before he clocks it out. We took all of those lists, Amanda, Troy, me, listeners, etc., threw them in a blender and determined based on the average and placements in all lists what was both the whole TV series of the year and the whole movie of the year. You guys want to hazard a guess for the whole TV show of the year?
Dragon.
I'm going with what was the top 3 on the list?
On the listener list was House
I'm
of the
going
Dragon.
Stranger
I'm
Things.
going
are
Stranger
Wednesday.
Things.
Yeah, it's Stranger Things. Stranger Things wins the whole TV show of the year. The whole movie of the year, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Heck yeah!
What? guess what? Our votes are just as strong as listener votes. I'm just saying.
We count.
There's just more of us.
Everything. Yep.
We matter.
Okay, that is our show. Before we're out the door, though, the whole Teachable Minute. In 1 minute or less, tell me what was the biggest lesson you learned from 2022, Amanda? Go.
Have patience. Think through your thoughts. Don't move across the country twice in a year. Go to the movie theater more often. Those are my lessons for the year.
Good advice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Troy.
Be yourself and enjoy what you like. Be firm in your opinion and don't let others tell you what you should like or do.
Yeah, like Spirited. You shouldn't like it, but I won't tell you not to like it.
I freaking knew that was coming. All right, don't get too attached to any TV show or movie. If Netflix doesn't cancel it or HBO Max doesn't make it disappear, there's just no guarantee you'll ever see it again. So anyway, just enjoy it for exactly what it is. Let's all use our imaginations more. And when we're left on a cliffhanger, embrace it. Embrace that we, not those savages, we get to decide how those journeys end. That's what we should have taken away from all this cancellation bullshit. We get to decide how it ends, so fuck them.
Aaron's coming for his Oscar award with this performance.
Is Justified on HBO Max?
It is on Amazon Prime Video. By the way, that's the last thing. So we had a bet. Troy and I, long for over a month and a half now.
Oh my God, I'm so glad it's almost over.
It's over. It's over. It's over. Okay. Avatar already pulled ahead. But the bet was which would make more domestically, not internationally, not overseas, just domestically. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, or Avatar, The Way of Water. He had Black Panther. I had Avatar. And the bet deciding factor is he has to watch the first season of Justified, which I would say is not really losing.
That's winning. Not losing at all. That's like,
you're winning.
Oh my God, it's magnificent.
There you go.
It's
magnificent. You might even be compelled to keep watching. There's only 6 seasons of it. But Prime Video, it's on Prime. And if it isn't, I will loan you the disc. So I have physical media for that. So anything you guys want to say at the end for 2022? Now that it's gone and we're moving on.
Peace out.
Okay, he said I'm out. I would like to say thank you to John, Troy, and of course Aaron, for putting up with me and also not having to put up with me, but putting up with not having to put up with me, for doing all of the work that they do for this podcast, to everybody who listens to the podcast, that you still listen and send in your thoughts and everything. Like, we really appreciate that. All of our Patreon supporters, you guys are A1, the best that there could ever be. We love you. And I'm really looking forward to South by Southwest this year with Aaron. What?
I want to thank Troy for helping me put up with Amanda and John not being here. And
thanks to Stan for filling in all year.
Yeah, thanks to Stan for helping out. And thanks to everybody for listening. Always appreciate it. And remember, the next time you head to a theater or sit comfortably on your couch streaming in 2023, buy popcorn. Goodbye.
Goodbye. That was still better singing than Will Ferrell.
So true, though.